Hello, all of you bold, beautiful, brilliant, and highly evolved souls. I am Davina, and today's topic is the narcissist's um, techniques of brainwashing and manipulation. And the more I think about it, it really is like brainwashing. It's not unlike what a cult leader would do to their followers in order to control them. Um, and this can be done, you know, intentionally, non-intentionally, but it is all an unconscious process that is going on with the narcissist. Just as people pleasing is also can also, anyway, start out as an unconscious process until we become aware of it, that we're doing it, right? Um, but nevertheless, it is extremely damaging. And I need to keep reminding myself of this. And, it is extremely damaging to your self-worth, to your self-esteem, to your mental health, to your emotional health, to your spiritual being. Um, yeah, it is psychological and emotional abuse. And yeah, I'm going to list some of these tactics. And I think I have other videos too, but never hurts to have another one, I think. One of the most kind of probably well-known ones that you have most likely heard of is gaslighting. Gaslighting and invalidation. These are ways that the narcissist will, yeah, get you to second guess yourself. They'll keep you in confusion. And of course, this is their objective. Um, so, for example, telling you that, you're not tired. You're like, wait a minute, I think I feel tired. You're telling me I'm not tired. So for a child, of course, this is extremely confusing, and they learn to doubt their own bodily sensations or their emotions. Gaslighting can also be telling someone that that didn't happen. Um, you know, um, no, I didn't do that. Oh, you must be imagining things. And so again, we start to question ourselves, like, oh, maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe it didn't happen. Maybe I'm just overreacting. And by gaslighting, they create, what I think of as the perfect crime, because they make us doubt our own perceptions. And so then, of course, we also doubt the abuse that happened to us. And yeah, it's very natural to go back and forth. So, if you're thinking, it's confusing. It's very confusing to come out of the denial. Another one is projection. This is something that narcissists do a lot of. And again, it's unconscious, but it's whatever they don't like inside of them, their shame, they will project it onto you. So they might call you lazy when, you're not being lazy. They're the ones that are being lazy. And they don't like that part of themselves. And so they want to relocate that onto you. So they're just yeah, they don't want to face it in themselves. And this is also brings me to blame shifting and scapegoating, another other techniques that they use. Blame shifting, um instead of taking responsibility for what they did, they'll blame you somehow. And this is also what scapegoating is. They blame the victim for their own lack of kindness, care, patience, or whatever it is. They might tell you that you're the one being unreasonable, or you're the whiner, or you're you're being crazy. Yeah, I remember when I brought up something to my sister, and then her way of kind of both deflecting and blame shifting was to say, well, but you should have brought that up to me earlier. So it was then my fault that the timing wasn't right, you know? It can be very subtle, and a lot of these things can be very subtle. And if they're just happening like day at a time, and they, you know, this is how the narcissist gain control of you. And yeah, scapegoating is just, you know, a really more intense and you know, a target, like is usually a target for that blame to land on. And often it is the highly sensitive person or the empath who is chosen because they're the threatening ones. They're the ones that are aware and sensitive and can spot the narcissist, you know, and the narcissist knows that somehow. It's all very on, you know, on a subconscious level. But another one is stonewalling, silent treatment, dismissiveness. All of these tactics are basically, you know, like stonewalling is like, I don't want to talk about it. I'm done with this conversation, you know. Silent treatment, they'll just stop talking to you. They'll just like put that wall up. Dismissiveness, you know, they might come just with a very short one-liner to kind of like shut you up. My mother was very good at doing this, you know. Well, life has its ups and downs, she would say, or whatever, just to sort of like brush it off. You know, she didn't want to deal with my emotions. And yeah, it can cause a lot of confusion in the victim, because you're thinking, well, didn't I bring that up? And why aren't they, you know, why aren't they responding to me? And I don't understand. And it can cause, you know, again, that confusion and self-doubt. And yeah, it can really mess up your mind. Another one, of course, is the shaming. The shaming can come in so many different forms. It can come like directly with, you know, put downs, insults, criticism. It can be mocking or teasing, sort of disguised as a kind of a joke, name calling. And yeah, these are all just very, very, you know, cruel ways to treat a person. It's demeaning, it's belittling. And of course, that causes, again, the victim to feel bad about themselves. They're going to feel ashamed. They're going to feel like they're not worthy, you know. So gradually the victim gets beaten down, you know. Another one, included in that would be, I think, I can never say this, infantilization. Can also be very subtle, but it can make you, like, if you're an adult and someone is treating you like a child, again, it can induce that kind of shame, you know, and this can be very subtle. Someone can say, like, can act like they're acting like they're your authority. And when they're not, like, they'll be, oh yeah, well, you know, don't worry about that. You know, that could be even infantilization, or thinking they know what's best for you. You know, I just want you to be happy, or you know, telling you how you should handle your money. All of these kind of things. You know, treating you like a child. Another one. On the opposite side of that is flattery. And they might use flattery, I feel like in the love bombing stage or at the beginning. And for parents, I think the love bombing stage is when the child is a baby. You know, that's the love bombing, when they're just a baby and they're, you know, very defenseless, very, you know, easily controllable, right? And that's when they do the love bombing. And the flattery, and the like, oh, you know, they also do this when they're trying to get you back, when they just think that they're going to lose you. That's when they'll pull out the flattery and, oh, you're so wonderful, and you know, things like that. So watch out for the flattery. A few more here. I didn't mention yet, trivial demands or any kind of demands. Like I remember the last couple of years with my husband, demands like left and right. You need to do that. We need to do that. Like we have to call this and we have to go to this store, and very demanding. I'd walk in the door and he'd be like, you have to call this person or whatever. And again, they keep you on your toes. They keep you like, they keep you busy so that you're not connected with yourself. Another one, unpredictable mood and behavior. Their moods and their behavior can be, they can suddenly fly into a rage, or, then they're calm. And then, so you're constantly on edge. This is what causes the, the hypervigilance, because you're constantly like seeing what their mood is and how they are, so that you can protect yourself. And another one, feigned ignorance and word salads. The feigned like, I don't know what you're talking about, or I don't know how you feel. I don't understand. Or I didn't mean to do that. Or just very confusing word salads, like just ramblings on and nothing is really making sense. They're not acknowledging what you're saying, and you're just left again feeling very confused, like what's going on here. So yeah, these people cannot be reasoned with. Yeah, it is, once you start setting some boundaries and stuff, they'll probably, pull out some more of their weaponry, to again try to keep you under their control. Yeah, so as children, we're completely helpless and defenseless. We had no way of defending ourselves against this kind of very cruel psychological abuse. And so, we over time become dependent on them, because now we've lost touch with our own core true self. We've lost touch with our inner wisdom, with our intuition, with our instincts, and with our own emotions. So now we ask them, we depend on them to know well, what do I think? What do I feel? What are my perceptions? What are my opinions? I don't know what I think, the narcissist can be very, very clever in pretending that they have your best interests at heart. As parents, of course, it's very confusing for a child, because you think, well, this person, surely they love me and they want what's best for me, right? And the narcissist will come across that way, that they're some way caring for you. But they're really not, if they're, judging your life or something, that's not caring. That's really not caring. Yeah. And as I said, it's the perfect crime, because they will, wear down your own self-worth and self-esteem. And of course, you're left feeling exhausted, because you spent so much time in your head, figuring things out, being confused, and feeling scared. Yeah, naturally, you're going to question yourself if this, if this abuse was it real? Did it really happen? Was it really that bad? And it takes time. It just takes time to come out of that denial. It took me 49 years. So wherever you are, it's okay. And forgive yourself for not, seeing it earlier, because you couldn't have seen it earlier. And the thing is, once you've been abused as a child, you just go on to attracting other narcissists until you do the healing work. Yeah. And of course, a big part of the healing work is coming back to ourselves, connecting with ourselves, figuring out again who we are, just basically basic things, what we feel, what we like, what our beliefs are, what our values are. And often our values are very very opposite to what the narcissists are. I think this is a long enough video. I hope this was helpful in some way for you today. Be patient with yourself as you unravel the damage that was done, and I'm so sorry that that has happened to you. And I'm wishing you many, many blessings on your journey of healing and awakening. And I am Davina at Boldness Blooming.